Thank you, everybody, for joining today, our webinar with Jim Costello. Some of the housekeeping items would be, if you have questions, please put them in the chat or the Q&A. We'll be addressing questions at the end. What you're going to hear today is an overview from Jim about the sales process, the ideal customer profile, and then how companies are leveraging KnowledgeNet to increase their business within a 30-day period. So, Jim, thank you for joining today. I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, Ben. It's an honor to be with, I think, the leading company and the leading expert in artificial intelligence and sales. We know that if you're on this webinar, you're probably leading a company or helping those who lead companies. And we know it's hard work. You may not have time to devote to building a sustainable sales strategy that's going to enable growth over the years. I'm a former executive vice president of sales for 30 plus years, and I've been helping companies, including the one I used to run, build those organizations and address every element within. There's so many different problems that seem common with clients when we enter and start working with them. We're going to touch on those and really focus on one big one and one big solution early on. When I come into a client, it's usually to help them build, fix, or manage their sales team. Everything from assessing where they are, building the infrastructure, managing it, making sure the right people are in the right seats, and continuing the process on a continual basis with ongoing training and coaching to make sure your folks are staying focused on the prize, if you will, on clients that will make a difference in the growth of your organization and your company. One common problem that I find almost every time I start working with a client is that their salespeople aren't calling on the right people at the right time in the right spot. When I walk into a client, I first evaluate their sales data, their history, the last 2 or 3 years, maybe longer. I look at the sales cycle, the sales process, the whole enchilada. Then I look at their current CRM and their pipelines to see where they stand today. Almost always, I'll find a pipeline full of the usual prospects. The prospects that salespeople go after because it's the path of least resistance, but they want to impress their supervisor with hopefulness, with happy ears, if you will. They want the supervisor to hear that this prospect really looks terrific, but they may not know that they're going after the wrong people at the wrong time and in the wrong spot. And with that, we help them, your salespeople and your sales leadership, identify the ideal client prospect, because your salespeople are wasting the one thing that they can't get back, and that's time. When they're going after a prospect, are they asked the ultimate question: will this prospect make a difference in the success of our company? Not just short term, but long term. Are you sure you're spending the time with the right prospects and not wasting your time? How do you find out who those people are? How do you develop that ideal client profile? We don't want salespeople wasting time, because time is your money. It's their personal investment, and it's the time that is lost that could have been spent truly growing your company with the ideal client prospect. So, Ben, would you like to go on to the next one? So how do you find the ideal client prospect, the ideal client profile? Who are they? When I look at the sales data, with the 80-20 rule, let's look at the top 20% of the accounts that are accounting for 80% of the business. And maybe the ones within that 20% that are the really perfect client. How much do they spend? Are they profitable for you? Are they buying a product mix that you can handle and deliver? How long have they been clients? Are they collaborative? Do they trust you? Are they decisive? And do they have a location in a spot that you can service? Finding all those things, all those attributes within a client tells us maybe who we can call on. Once we find those things out, then we have to find out who the person is within that client to call on. What are their demographics? Where do they live? Their psychographics, their title, of all things. Not just the title, but their position within the company. Are they an economic buyer, a user buyer who's going to be accountable for the results? Are they a technical buyer, maybe somebody in procurement or legal, that contact going to coach you on how to sell into their company? We need to find out who that is. We can then leverage that to find the account that fits the ideal client profile and the individual. Here's some big questions to ask yourself. Are your salespeople spending hours a day on LinkedIn surfing? Are you spending a ton of money? $15,000 a year is a ton of money to have another company do some searches for you that may or may not be effective. Are you spending a lot of money on Google Ads? Or did you have newsletters? Do you have people smiling and dialing to find prospects for you? How are you trying to find that account and that person in that account to call on to make sure it's effective. Here's where I get excited. My partner, Ben, has shown me and my clients a solution to all those questions that I just asked you, and in a very cost-effective, fast, efficient manner that will increase the productivity of a sales force by a factor of 5. So with that, Ben, if you want to go to the next slide.
Excellent. Thank you, Jim, for the introduction there. So the way that we do this and our focus is using AI that turns your relationship intelligence to a revenue generating machine, leveraging your warm relationships to grow your business and reduce costs at the same time. The costs that Jim was detailing earlier are eliminated, and that money drops right to the bottom line. The way that we do this is we create a secure KnowledgeNet organization for your company and invite your sales team. Your sales team then syncs their email to that organization and their LinkedIn connections. That builds an overall relationship brain. We use AI to build that brain. It goes back a year into the emails, puts it all together, then starts leveraging that information to help you find who in your network can give you warm introductions, whether that's 1 degree of separation or 2 degrees of separation. Help you identify current customers that you thought were still in the same job, but they've moved on, and let you know where they went, and so that you can pursue them at their new company and develop business because you'll have an internal champion. We do provide you access to 280 million contacts with detailed filters that match your ideal customer profile. We use AI to generate personality profiles, so when your sales team is meeting with clients, they can present to them in a way that they're going to be most receptive. We can monitor your website and let you know which customers are visiting your website anonymously. And then we use AI to generate customized emails. The main focus here, though, is how do we help you leverage your relationships so that you can have a warm introduction? So once you identify these prospects, who in your network, again, either 1 degree of separation or 2 degrees of separation, can introduce you to that person. And then prior to meeting with them, reviewing their personality profile so that you are able to present to them in a way that they're going to be most receptive, and then generating emails to them, packaging up that relationship intelligence, or customized way of sending them an email that includes also the personality intelligence. That's the core functionality of KnowledgeNet. And it's not something that your sales team has to go and use a new tool. It augments and complements whatever system they're working in today, whether that's a CRM system or email or LinkedIn. They have all of this technology sitting right next to them, and I'll show you that during the demonstration here in just a minute. So let's go back to how do we deliver 1,000 prioritized leads in 10 business days. The first step is we build the relationship brain. We create a KnowledgeNet organization, invite your users, they sync their email and LinkedIn. That takes 1 day. Then, as Jim was talking about, you provide us your ideal customer profile. We then use AI to search through 280 million contacts, leveraging your brain and your ideal customer profile. And then we prioritize and deliver 1,000 prioritized leads in less than 10 business days. As Jim was talking about, we've been helping clients here in Georgia, and we know that this increasing revenue is of top of mind. So we have case studies and customers that you can talk to validate what we've been mentioning here today. One of those customers is an engineering firm. They're actually out of Houston. And in 4 months, they closed $14 million worth of new business, and it all started with KnowledgeNet. The pricing of this solution includes licensing for your sales team. It includes web traffic intelligence for 1 month. It includes the 1,000 prioritized leads, and the cost for this service is $1,000. It's a fast start special offer here that we help you have these prioritized leads from the beginning, but the pricing is essentially the same as if it was just the subscription fees. of active users using the solution. It's the best way to start, but it's not the only way to start. Maybe you don't have a sales team and you're a business of one and you're trying to grow your business. You can certainly do that with KnowledgeNet. We charge $30 per month. There's no contract. It's a subscription. You can cancel at any time. Or maybe you're doing the AI lead intelligence and you want to add additional users. Those would be $30 per month. So let me provide you here a demonstration of what we've been talking about. How would your team use KnowledgeNet in an a la carte fashion? And I'm going to show you these 6 different areas during this demonstration. So let's say I'm a manufacturer, an extruder of plastic products, and I make plastic gutters. And I'm trying to reach out to new customers. And I identify a customer like this, Nationwide Gutter. I click on the KnowledgeNet Chrome extension, and I'm able to see that no one in my company has ever contacted Nationwide Gutter, but I have a connection path. Joe English is a 2 degree of separation from Renee Grossman. So here, if I click on this row, I can see exactly how Joe and I are connected, and how is Joe and Renee, the founder of Nationwide Gutter, connected. And if I like this story, I can click this purple button and package up this relationship intelligence into an email asking Joe to please introduce me to Renee. Another way that you could use KnowledgeNet is to identify more information. Of course, just by going to his website, we've identified his email address. But if I click on the information tab, I can unlock his cell phone number. I can also use AI to generate the personality profile. So if I click here, as I maybe have been introduced by Joe to Renee, and now I'm going to be meeting with him, I can present to him in a way that, he'll be most receptive to, because I'll know his motivations, his drainers, how to communicate, working together, recommended do's and don'ts. All this is available here in KnowledgeNet. If I don't have a connection path, I can use AI to write an email to Renee. This will be a customized email leveraging his personality profile and coming from me and my company. And when I click next, it's going to Renee and his company using these details to customize the message. So when I click next, it automatically generates that email introducing Renee to KnowledgeNet and the services that we provide. Once I find that this is a good prospect for me and I want to add them to my CRM, that's very easy. Just click on any of these rows depending on your CRM and you would add them directly to your CRM. Now I can go to the company and see the company view. So if I click here on Nationwide Gutter, I'm seeing information about Nationwide Gutter. And if I click on the information tab, I see information about the company. I can click here and access all of the employees at Nationwide Gutter, go through that process again, identify maybe by title the person that I'd like to meet. And I can click here to use AI to find similar companies. So this would package up the information about Nationwide Gutter and show me other companies that are like them. Those are some of the ways to expand your business. But you can also use KnowledgeNet to search 70 million companies, where I went to the search area and I put in the word gutter, and it shows me 3,293 that are gutter companies. I can also do a search by people, and here I can search among 270 million people, and using the filters, match the ideal customer profile so that I have the contacts that my team can reach out to. Jim, I'm going to turn it back over to you now.
At Sales Xceleration, we don't merely advise our clients, we actually do the work, which gets me excited about Ben and KnowledgeNet. When I'm working with the client, it's easy to say to them, how long does it take you to come up with 1,000 warm leads? How many attempts does it take by your salespeople to find those warm leads? I mean, it's truly a no-brainer. How much are you spending on those resources to get 1,000 warm leads? I guarantee you it's 100 times more expensive than working directly with Ben and culling through the entire process to find the ideal client profile in terms of who's the best business to call on and then who's that human being within that business to make that sales call on. That's all part of the work that we do within our certified sales operating system of Sales Xceleration. Whenever I have introduced Ben, I have stayed quiet and let him roll with it. It's so cost effective and it's so leading edge in the world of artificial intelligence that it will provide a competitive advantage for whoever I'm working with. One of the things that we're doing at Sales Xceleration is offering a framework process to build the entire sales infrastructure and plan with your people. We have a lot of CEOs who want to make major changes, but they want to do it with who they have on board now. There's no wholesale changes in personnel, but they know their sales process isn't going in the right direction. Our typical engagement is 3 months to 12 months, and it's a big commitment. It's 1 day a week. With Framework, we come in and spend 6 days over 12 months, and we break ground and on a foundation to build their sales infrastructure. It's going to be sustainable long term. We do that in 1 day. We go to the next day and we work with the sales leader and the salespeople, activating that foundation, that plan. We come back a month later and refine it for a day. We come back with quarterly meetings and reinforce it and improve it and build upon it. And then we do annual planning to rework the entire strategy to make sure it's current and relevant. It's called Sales Xceleration Framework. And right now it's a very hot, easy process to commit to because it's not expensive in the grand scheme of things when you look at other consulting engagements. And this framework is very effective. I couldn't be more excited. And one of the tools within that, I'm going to say it again, is Victorica, KnowledgeNet AI, and the incredible technology they bring to your table. We're ready to get to work right now, today. Please contact us and see how we can be of service. Ben, there are 2 questions. One is, how many salespeople do you need to justify an investment in KnowledgeNet? Ben touched upon it. You can be a solopreneur and benefit from it immediately, or you can have 5 or 10 or 50 salespeople. You will benefit. That's the answer to that question. The other is, Ben, I was a little confused about, let me read this question, about the $1,000 versus $30 per person. What is the difference between those cost figures that you had?
The difference is that with the $1,000 investment, we do include licensing for 3 of your sales team for a 1-year period. And upfront, as a project, we leverage your relationship brain and your ideal customer profile and deliver 1,000 warm leads, people in your network that can refer you to clients that you're not doing business with today that match your ideal customer profile. So we provide that as a service to you upfront so that your team can use those and generate revenue in less than 30 days.
Thanks for your question, Michelle. That's why when I go into a client, I become evangelical. I encourage salespeople to be disruptive with their prospects and their networks and be very strong with their recommendations when they know it's in the client's best interest, when the prospect's best interest. And I'm telling you, KnowledgeNet AI is simply easy to understand, implement, and benefit from right away. And with that, thank you for your time today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, everybody, for your time today. We'll send you all a recording. Have a great day.